Bro. Nah, we gotta stop these hackers, man. If our search history leaks again, people are gonna know we're gay. Ah, shit. There is at least one thing in this video that you didn't know was spying on you. Unless you're like me and are on several FBI watch lists. From secret agents, hidden cameras, and evil air fryers, there are so many things that are trying to collect information on you. So today in this video, we're gonna learn if one of these things is in your home, your neighborhood, or even in your pocket. And no, I'm not even talking about social media. That ship's long sailed, buddy. Your car. If you bought a new car from the past few years, it is 100% spying on you. The average car costs about $48,000, but the car companies make even more money off you by selling your data to private companies. And it's not just a couple brands. GM, Honda, Nissan, Mitsubishi, Kia, Ford, Hyundai, and Subaru are all notorious for anti-privacy behavior. And those are just the ones I read about. There's definitely more. And they claim they collect data for your safety. Yeah, we've heard that before. They must have had a good old meeting with Curious George here. Some of the data they collect includes stuff like location, speed, acceleration, facial expressions, facial features, and anything else that can be identified based off your appearances. And yes, that includes your race. And the worst offender is Nissan, who collects data about your sexual activity in their vehicles. Let that sink in. They all make millions of dollars selling your private data to private companies, including insurance agencies. And when your insurance company buys your data, they can use that information to jack up your rates based off what you do in your own car that you bought. And it's not just a little bit. They have doubled insurance rates over this. All it takes is a few sharp turns, hard brakes, light speeding, and boom, your finances are done, buddy. And car companies use this data themselves too in order to deny warranty claims so they don't have to pay out any money. Who owns the car again? And it's not like they use this data and information in super reasonable situations like, hey, we saw you were going 130 in a school zone, so because you crashed your car, we're not gonna reimburse you there, bud. No. One guy took his sports car out to a racetrack and proceeded to race his sports car in the legal racetrack, and they upped his insurance rates. Another guy was driving his Toyota on the highway before it caught fire, and he had to pull it aside and just let it burn. He did get money from his insurance, but Toyota refused to pay out their warranty, even though their car just went up in flames. And why? Because they recorded data showing that he went over 85 miles per hour during certain times during his ownership. It was a sports car. It was a Toyota GR Sports Edition. Hello? That's like if your health insurance went up because your provider knew you ate a Big Mac a month ago. So if you're not the type of guy to hit every turn, stop, and merge to perfection every single time, get ready to pay more for the same thing. Photo metadata. Did you know that every single photo you take off your phone has embedded data about things like the location you took that photo on, the type of phone you took it on, and information as minute as whether you had the flash on or not? Like, the data is actually attached to the image file itself. The problem is that people have used the metadata on photos to do things like dox people and even stalk them. For once, social media sites have actually done something right, and they strip this metadata when you upload it to their websites. So think Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I guess. I don't use a lot of social media. TikTok too, like, those are safe. But if the photo is sent through an app that doesn't recompress and change up the image file, the place or person you uploaded it to has full access to this metadata that they can use at their disposal. So things like email, zip files, and file sharing apps pass the photo through along with all the metadata completely untouched, so the recipient can do anything they want with your metadata. This has led to sites like Imgur having a history of people doxing and stalking each other based off the images people have uploaded to their websites. You can kind of fix this problem by going into your phone settings and turning off the geotag that is placed on photo metadata. This does get rid of the biggest risk of metadata, but it still records the identity of your phone onto every single photo that you take. So be careful where you upload your photos because someone might just know where you live. Wi-Fi appliances. Why does your toaster need to connect to the damn internet? We've been toasting bread for thousands of years without Wi-Fi, completely Wi-Fi free, mind you, with no issue. What about your air fryer or your refrigerator? Well, air fryers are seemingly the worst culprits. Did you know 2/3 of homes have at least one air fryer? You see, the big problem is that a lot of these need an app for you to use them. You know, an app on your phone. This allows them to know your precise phone location, and that's just the start. They even ask permission for your phone's microphone for no stated reason. They just ask for it. I guess you miss every target you don't aim for or shoot for or whatever. This is all spyware. The biggest brands doing this are Aeostar and Xiaomi, who connect to trackers from Facebook, TikTok ads, and Tencent. This allows them to connect even more data points about you to start building your profile in their servers. And this is before making you sign up for an account on their apps, which ask for stuff like date of birth and your gender. And just like I said before, they take all that personal information and send it straight to Chinese servers. See, not all data is bad. There's a reason why companies started collecting it. Google Maps should know your precise location. Your phone should have access to your microphone. But why does your air fryer need to know your birth date, gender, location, and your phone microphone in order to make you chicken fingers? I mean, what world are we living in? Those better be some damn good chicken fingers. Better than Chick-fil-A, because you know what? When I go to Chick-fil-A, they don't ask for your gender. Unless you say you like the same gender. Then, they might not serve you, bud. Other big culprits of privacy concerns are smart TVs, portable speakers, and smartwatches, which all ask for completely unnecessary permissions that they use to sell your data. After doing some research, if you want to be as safe as possible using these devices, you're gonna have to not connect them to the internet unless absolutely necessary. Things like updates or quickly setting up your account and then shutting the Wi-Fi back off again, because some won't even work if you don't set up an account or something. So try not to use the internet as much as possible on these things. Instantly shut them down. Instantly disconnect them whenever you can. Like, trust me, bro, you don't need YouTube on your fridge. You don't, okay? You got a TV in your pocket at all times. That's what you're probably watching it on. You think you can make chicken fingers without YouTube for once, bro? For once? You think you can take a shit without your fucking phone? For once? So if your appliance wants you to connect to the internet or download an app on your phone for you to use it, it's definitely spying on you. And remember, saying your air fryer is spying on you and selling your data to private corporations would have landed you in a mental institution 25 years ago. Not every conspiracy is a theory. Speaking of conspiracy theories, US CIA agents. There are an estimated 21,000 CIA agents currently operating worldwide. And this is just a guess, because when I Googled this to do the research, the stupid Google AI overview refused to even answer this question for me. Like, that dude's a know-it-all, and he wouldn't even touch this with a 6-foot pole, man. Obviously, it's unknown how many of those 21,000 work in the US, especially because the CIA primarily is used to spy on other countries. But they still spend plenty of time messing around here in the mainland, that's for sure. Their first enemy was the KGB, which was the Soviet equivalent to the CIA. And since the KGB was operating in the US mainland during the Cold War, the CIA had to be stationed here as well in order to combat these spies when they come. They probably operate out of safe houses dotted across the states, but of course they're unknown. However, they do have some publicly known facilities they officially operate out of. They have an old headquarters campus that was built in 1961 and takes up 1.4 million square feet of space. It's only 8 miles from downtown Washington, D.C. as well. They later added what they call a new headquarters building connecting to the old headquarters building, which sits on 2 hills somewhere behind the old headquarters building. It's a lot of buildings. They also use a 9,000-acre military base, commonly known as the Farm, in order to conduct special training, not just for the CIA, but also for other secret agencies in the US government. Little are known about all these buildings, but they allowed the CIA to officially conduct operations within the United States instead of having to hide everywhere. However, their most famous unofficial base of operations was a place in Miami called JM Wave, or also known as Wave Station. Here, they carried out lots of Cold War operations, including the operations aimed at combating Fidel Castro in Cuba, the Bay of Pigs invasion, and the Cuban Missile Crisis. But the Wave Station has since been shut down due to low activity and has somewhat been transferred to another smaller Miami base. They infamously sold crack in the 80s. You ever hear crack like the 80s? That's where that reference comes from. And you thought Pablo was big pimpin'. What happened was they distributed crack cocaine amongst minority neighborhoods in the United States. And they got this cocaine from Central American Contra guerrilla fighters with money that they got from selling weapons to Iran during a hostage crisis. Thanks, Reagan. They also used to kidnap college students using honeypots in order to secretly use them in experiments such as MKUltra. MKUltra was where the CIA used LSD and other psychedelic drugs in order to attempt to create a mind control drug that would turn people into Manchurian candidates. Manchurian candidates are essentially people under a state of mind control that are forced to carry out tasks that they normally wouldn't do themselves, but they do it willingly. They also allegedly played a role in the deletion of a certain US president in Houston in broad daylight.
Allegedly, that's ignorant.
There was one shooter. So safe to say, they definitely operate here in the mainland. The problem is most of what we know about the CIA today is from decades old documents that were either intentionally or accidentally released. So the CIA that's currently acting today is a complete mystery, and that's kind of their job. But if there's 21,000 currently active CIA agents who primarily live in the US, that's 1 agent for every 16,000 citizens. That's also 420 agents per state, or about 1 agent for every incorporated city in America. It's also illegal for a CIA agent to tell people what they do for a living, not just in life, but also death. So you will never know where or who they are, but they're definitely out there. And they definitely know your browsing history. AI police cameras. There are currently thousands of cameras mounted to solar panels that use AI to track things about your vehicles, such as make and model, your driving behavior, your license plate number, and more. If you own or drive a car in the US, you have 100% been recorded by one of these cameras. They are not controlled by the police or even the government, but instead by the super trustworthy AI tech startups, which charge the taxpayer an insane amount of money just to lease these things out to the police forces. And they do it all across America and even some parts of the world. They also lease these to major retail stores that use these cameras to connect your vehicle's location to other data points such as personal information, shopping patterns, in-store behavior, and a lot more, dude. And of course, they charge massive subscription fees like any good tech company does to the police force, which of course comes from local taxpayer dollars. And even more taxes are spent on 7-figure settlements when these cameras incorrectly flag someone as a criminal, which are then wrongly arrested and then sue the police department. And you thought Netflix was expensive. How they work is that they use AI to detect any recordable information about your vehicle, such as the make and model, any bumper stickers, your license plate, decals, and anything else they can detect with vision. This data is then stored in one of their private databases and used to build your profile that you did not sign up for. Once in these databases, they are then accessible to governments, police forces, private companies, and even just like people, like normal people. All of it for a price, of course. It gets even worse because in areas with enough of these cameras installed, they essentially become non-consensual GPS trackers for every vehicle in that city. This GPS tracking feature becomes especially scary when the police put you on a hot list, which makes the cameras notify the police department every time they detect your vehicle past one of their cameras. This allows officers to constantly trail behind you and track your movements without needing to go through all that silly little court order warranty bullcrap that's afforded to us in the Fourth Amendment. And when police suspicion and software glitches meet, there are serious consequences. A mother and her kids were once held at gunpoint and made to lay on hot asphalt in the middle of the day because an AI camera flagged them as driving to the mall in a stolen vehicle. They were innocent and the camera was wrong. 2 women were driving to a park before being apprehended because the AI thought that they were driving with a stolen license plate. They were innocent and the camera was wrong. More people have been flagged for driving in stolen vehicles and have been proven innocent, but only after being arrested. And the biggest tech company selling these Orwellian 1984 devices is Flock Safety. Flock is essentially a data broker that gatekeeps 2-decade-old technology they did not invent in order to sell your data to the highest bidder and can result in you getting arrested without any real evidence. An example of how aggressive Flock Safety is with their surveillance expansion is in Orlando, Florida. Here, they installed over 100 of these AI cameras along public roadways without even notifying the county. Flock also makes it illegal for anybody to do anything to their cameras, including the government and the police department. Even repairing them is illegal. Repairing them. I'll repair them by throwing them off a damn cliff, dude. I'm fixing some problem, right? Despite this, their cameras are vulnerable to anyone with a working knowledge of computers and can be hacked into for nefarious purposes by virtually anyone. A YouTuber just did it. It's where I got the source for a bunch of this AI camera information. He hacked the cameras and was able to detect a bunch of crap and use it for his own purposes. Although he's not a bad guy. Go check that video out. It's a lot better than this small little segment. And this is not stopping anytime soon, because Flock Safety and the rest of the industry have spent a combined $92 million in order to lobby for these practices. So if you don't have tens of millions of dollars at your disposal to lobby against these practices, you're helpless. Enjoy 1984, ladies and gentlemen.